Hey guys, it's Mike here over in Taiwan. I want to talk a little bit about working in Taiwan. Most people when they come here, they get a job at a cram school. So like, an after school class, whatever. I'm still working in some of those sometimes, and I'm okay. I'm proud of it. It's fine. Some people, they'll get like a master's degree, or they'll get like some degree in education, and then eventually they'll move over to like a regular school, maybe like an elementary school or a private school or something like that. I do that part-time. But I mean, that's what's kind of available for you. Like for me, I feel like flexibility is king over being able to, say that I work at whatever school, whatever. I know this dude who worked at a kindergarten for years and years and years, and he's still working there. But it's pretty cushy. They let him do whatever he wants. He basically has full control over the curriculum. So I probably wouldn't leave that type of job either, especially if it's like 9 to 5, right? But there's a lot of jobs, depending on what you want, and sometimes I feel like it's depending on how long you can take it, I guess, because there is like some pressure sometimes, pressure from parents, pressure from the management, stuff like that, and sometimes they'll say things, and it's not their fault. It's just kind of the way that the language is or whatever. And if you go with it, that's cool. If not, then it is what it is, right? But I would recommend if you're coming here for the first time, go to Taipei first and see how I don't want to say cut and dry, but it's very competitive, and you might be working at some job for like 3 months or something, and then they'll say, okay, you're fired because your shirt smells, or we found somebody better, or you're late too much or something. They might make up some little excuse. Meanwhile, the real reason is because they don't like you, or because they don't like your nationality. I'll just kind of leave it at that, because it gets deeper, and then people get mad about it. So, and I don't want to get mad about it. I don't really care. Then from that point, then you could figure that it's probably better for you to just go to like the middle of Taiwan. I know a guy online, and he's been in the middle of Taiwan for like 20 years. So, he's happy with what he's got over there. He probably wouldn't trade it for Taipei at all. And the more that you go in the countryside in Taiwan, and even in further south, you're going to take a pay cut. But you trade that for, I guess, kind of quality of life. Some people say that they have more friends over there. The weather, I mean, depending on what you want, right? Some people they go to the north and they go scuba diving and stuff, but in the south, I imagine there's probably more beach type of atmosphere. It's kind of ironic, right? Because we just came off of a typhoon, and I think it's going to start raining again soon. But all in all, I would say that my life is pretty satisfying here, despite the fact that a lot of videos I'm talking about all the things that I don't like about Taiwan. And there's some, but it's it balances it out with the things that I do like, so I'm not really too worried about it at all, right? I'd say that for the most part, people in Taiwan are pretty accepting of other cultures, but at the same time, will they necessarily let you into their inner circle? Probably not. And also, there's a lot of interracial marriages here, which is cool. That's just my personal preference. It's not neither here nor there if that's a controversial topic for you, but there's I would say probably the biggest barrier is probably the language, right? Because Taiwan is a small island. I don't want to say they expect you to speak Mandarin perfectly, but if you don't speak Mandarin perfectly, then there's kind of there's a wall between you, and even if they there's also Taiwan language too, right? But because there's some things, I guess, that they feel that you may not understand. There's some things that they may not feel that you are very comfortable. And I think if I would probably sum up in a nutshell what Taiwan life is, is basically comfort and convenience. Taiwanese people will never do anything if it's too inconvenient. Well, actually, no, let me rephrase that. People in Taiwan will not do anything if it's too inconvenient. And if it's too uncomfortable, then they won't go out of their comfort zone. You might see here and there somebody who travels every 6 months and leaves Taiwan and blah blah blah, right? But those people are probably 1 in 10. The rest, it's I'm in my place, I'm in my cushy job. I want to, get better at English so that I can get better at work, and I just want to work, right? So, I would say Taiwan people are kind of workaholic, but to a point, right? Because they really love their holidays. So whenever there's a holiday, they're going to jump at it. Most people, they treat like, a typhoon, which is, it's a huge thing, right? It's like almost like a natural disaster, but people in Taiwan, they treat it like a holiday. They're like, oh, there's a typhoon. Okay, let me come to your house. I'll spend the night there, and then in the morning we can play mahjong or something, right? So, and I didn't really understand that. There's a lot of like weird things here, like how people in Taiwan will use an umbrella when it's a sunny day. I still can't get over that a little bit, but I understand why. It's because they want to use it for shade. It's not that they want to. Well, they do want to protect themselves from the sun, but that's what sunscreen's for, in my opinion. So if you're coming to Taiwan and you're expecting like a lot of excited people to like be your friend and whatnot, like I hate to sound so pessimistic, but that's kind of like where they're at. And I don't know what it is about like being friends with people in Taiwan. Like you got to have really some type of like reason. I've talked about this before about how some people will tell me that it's weird that I just talk to like some foreigners, right? Like I was over at the Canadian Embassy and I heard that somebody was getting married, and I said, hey man, congratulations. He said, thank you. And I said, good luck with everything in your marriage. He said, thank you very much. And then that's it, right? And somebody from Taiwan said to me, like, why would you say that to them? Why would you just kind of say that out of the blue, right? And it's just kind of being friendly, because it's like, I know where he's coming from, and I know what he's doing, and what he's starting to do is going to be really, really difficult for him, right? And I think it's just kind of overall like being human. I probably would never. I'm not saying that people in Taiwan aren't human, but it's really hard to see somebody from Taiwan to go out of their comfort zone and talk to somebody. Usually they're gonna like talk to them because they have to, because there's something that they really need. And I don't want to say that they're too much of utilitarian, but it's why am I going to talk to somebody if I don't need something? So that's kind of weird. That's neither here nor there, though. Going back to the job things, right? You're going to see like a bunch of cram schools like all over the place, right? Visas obviously is a really big issue. Don't work at one of these schools if you don't have a visa. Don't work at a school that doesn't provide visas for you, or that's been reported and blah blah blah. You got to do a little bit of your research, right? But that probably requires you to be at least here working for like 6 months to see what's here and what's available. Most people think they can teach English, but it's like where? And that's also another thing is curriculum and results, right? A lot of these after-school places, they don't have like even a really good curriculum. They'll say that, oh yeah, we use Oxford like books or like whatever, right? But do you really know how to teach that system? And I'm not saying that I'm an expert or anything like that, right? But it's like in Taiwan, they want you to teach Taiwan-style English. And bottom line is that they want you to help them pass the test. If you can help their kids speak English along the way, and you teach in the same school for 5 years, then they're going to say at that school you're like a super genius. Meanwhile, all you've been doing is just a little by little helping them along, and they just got kind of used to it. So I think, yeah, that's, if there's another piece of advice I'd try to give about people like living in Taiwan, teaching in Taiwan, is that you need to make a good relationship with the people that you are, serving or whatever. Because if you don't, then it's like you're starting over every single time. A lot of people, they'll move to a different school like every year, and I don't know necessarily if that's like the best move, because now you're starting from scratch when it comes to the people that you know and the people that are around you, right? And I'm not saying that I know a lot of people around me, but I am kind of building like my network and starting all over again, because I was just kind of moving around for a while. So anyways, guys, I'm just kind of going on here. If you guys have any questions or anything, leave them in the comments. This is Mike in Taiwan. I'll see you guys later. Bye.